Our menopause bodies require stability because it is going through a very unstable time. Finding a steady, creating a stable environment that is routine can help you be able to deal with your symptoms much more. What would your life look like? And what do you think your menopause symptoms would look like? What do you think your menopause journey would look like? Do you think it would be different than it is now? Hello and welcome to the Menopause Mind Shift Self-Love Podcast. I am your host, the Menopause Queen, Lisa R. Triggs, and I have some exciting news. I'm not only a best-selling author, motivational speaker. I want to talk a minute about what we do here. We've been shifting branding a little bit, and now it's going to change some more. Now I am a certified menopause coach. And what is this podcast is about? Initially, I said it was about shifting the way women do menopause. We are, because we have to be doing it differently. What women have been doing for decades, probably 100 years, we're no longer satisfied with. I'm not going to say it's no longer working. I'm going to say we're no longer satisfied with. And the options that have been out there for women are no longer acceptable, or there's not enough options. We want more in today's day and age. So what do we do here in this podcast? What are we about? I am about helping women unleash their inner queen during menopause. We are about having, of course, real, honest conversations that help women write their own story, define your own journey. One thing to describe what I'm creating here, what I want to do here. I want to do it all for you. I want to help you unleash your inner queen. I want to help you write your own story, define your own journey. And I want you to shift the way you do menopause, which brings me to today's topic. What do you think menopause would look like if we actually took better care of ourselves? I was reminded this week, we are a society of addicts, addicted to caffeine, addicted to sugar, addicted to the quick fix, addicted to the next big thing. People are looking for resolution. We're looking to feel better, right? We're looking for answers. We're looking for purpose. So essentially, we're looking for outside things to make ourselves feel better, right? That's why we are pushing the big movement to push for more research into menopause health. Of what other options are there than taking hormone replacement therapy? Or are there better options? What other pill, drug, potion can we take to help us deal with menopause more? But what if the answer is not out there? What if the answer is in here? Like the questions I asked at the beginning. What if we actually took better care of ourselves? What would menopause look like? If you took better care of yourself, what do you think your menopause symptoms would look like? What do you think your menopause journey would look like? Do you think it would be different than it is now? Do you think you would be stressed as much if you knew how to lower your stress more in your body? Do you think you would still be suffering? Do you think you would still be having the same symptoms than you are right now? We are a society of addicts. How many people cannot function without their coffee in the morning, their caffeine? So occasionally I have a tea. Most days it's herbal tea because I do try and stay away from the caffeine. Sugar. I am guilty of being a sugar addict. There was a time when my hormones were off so much that my sugar cravings were it was so high, like it was unbelievable. My body became insulin resistant, and I still have trouble getting wrapping my head around that because when I was younger, I was told I was hypoglycemic. I had low blood sugar. Then during my menopause years, all of a sudden, the doctors telling me I was pre-diabetic. Those two things aren't supposed to go together, not at all. And then I had some testing done a couple years ago with a naturopath, and she said I was highly insulin resistant. And to be honest, if the past few weeks, I've had trouble with that, with insulin resistance. So I've had to do another check with myself. how am I treating my body? How have I been treating my body? What have I been putting in my body? I will be honest, I was not treating my body the best or what I was putting into it. Some things I thought I was actually good, that it was good, and it turns out might not be the best. So I've been doing a little bit more research about foods to support your hormones, and things like that, so that I can get this insulin issue under control because I was exhausted. I was so exhausted and I didn't feel well on top of it. And I felt shaky and inconsistent the whole time. I felt tired. So I'm feeling much better now. It's been about a week and a half. So I'm getting it more under control, eating some better foods, making sure I get my protein in. To be honest, here's what happened. I have not been feeling well. I actually had a bit of a sinus thing going on for a while now, actually. So I even went and had some testing done. So I was trying to boost my immune system by having some pineapple. And so, okay, pineapple naturally has a lot of sugar, but it also, like pineapple juice, also is high in vitamin C. It has a lot of other benefits for you. So I was okay if I mixed it with like some cottage cheese or something like that. That was fine. But I ended up having some pineapple on its own, and I started to feel super, super shaky. And that's kind of what triggered it, so to speak. And then I was having all this trouble, like being able to balance things out. So now I am making sure that I am starting my day with more protein, making sure I eat more protein and also fiber and some other good things. And it's been much better now. I've also, now that I'm back home from Las Vegas for the wonderful talk I did there, I wanted to make sure that I'm really getting back in the routine of exercising, particularly with the weights. That I cannot stress enough how beneficial it is for us during this time to help balance your hormone and balance your sugar levels. And then actually, that it actually helps with your mental state as well. Gives you much more clarity and helps you produce your own hormones to be able to do some weight training. So now that I'm getting back stabilized, doing that more, things are back on track. But I say I really didn't feel well there for um, almost 2 weeks. So that is so hard for us to give up, right? Nobody wants to give up sugar totally or their caffeine. So we are a society of addicts. We don't want to have to give up our McDonald's or our junk food, So there are people who do balanced, well balanced and all that. And I do believe in balance, absolutely, because I think that if you go from one extreme to the other, like when you totally like doing carnivore, for example, my husband does very well in carnivore, but then and I've tried a carnivore slash keto because of my blood sugar levels. I had a very hard time going straight carnivore. So I will say it does have its benefits, but for women, we do need more balance than that. And it takes a very strict person. It takes a certain amount of commitment to be able to do that kind of thing. So it's more stabilizing. And let me say this, people thrive on stability. We do. We thrive on stability. Our bodies thrive on stability. We want a routine, a sleep schedule, right? That's why we have a routine, even for work or home life, so forth. Now, that's not to say that that routine can become a little boring or redundant now and again. So we have to find other ways to mix things up, to add some spice to our lives. That comes outside, right? Our extracurricular to activities, our vacationing. Are we involved in sports? Do you do a podcast? Do you have charities you're involved in? Right? These are the things where we find more the extra value and family and extra value in our life outside of what might be routine. But our bodies actually thrive on routine. It likes it. Hey, today I know we're going to be going for a walk today. I know we're working out with weights. Oh, we're going to feed with some protein and good fats and fiber foods. We're going to be feeding the body well. The body, if you think about it, when you're raising your children, when I was raising my children, when my children were babies, our routine was that I would wake them up 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I give them their last feeding or bath first, give them a bath, and then their last feeding. And then they would go. I was not a mother who woke my children up in the night, even when they were newborns. A lot of times that was like, 5, 6 in the morning. They woke up, got them changed, gave them another feeding, then they went back to bed till like 8, 8:30. And they were on a schedule, even at nighttime as they were toddlers and school-age children, they had their routine. They would have their bath at night, we would have our story time, and then they would go to bed, right, at the same time. On weekends, it took me a while to get used to this actually, all that kind of stuff that other areas of their life would suffer. And sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. And that's life and that's okay. But they thrived on routine. They felt secure, right? Stability. Routine enforces stability. And that's what we require as beings, as humans. And I believe that this is true for menopausal women. Our menopause bodies require stability because it is going through a very unstable time with all the fluctuations in hormones that are going on in us and emotions and so forth. Finding a steady, creating a stable environment that is routine can help you be able to deal with your symptoms much more. You're better prepared. You're better mentally prepared, right? You're better emotionally prepared. That if you are at work and you have a hot flash or you're starting to have feelings of overwhelm or anything like that, having that routine for yourself, a bedtime routine, a morning routine, right? You might even have routines that you go through during work, during your work day. I can honestly tell you that, yeah, our bodies, I know from my own experience, our bodies do thrive on routine from when we're little children, from when we're babies. It's a sense of stability. And this can only improve things. So, this is all part of taking care of yourself more, taking better care of yourself more, creating the stability, creating the routines. My daily routine is when I wake up in the morning, I I actually like to read positive quotes first, and then I put on meditation, and then I listen to my Salveggio music as I'm writing. That's my morning routine. After that is when I move my body, I exercise or work out and shower and so forth and go on with my day. There are some of us who are have the need to even be more routine that you even get addicted to your routine. You don't want to waver from it. And I've been guilty of that. Not because I believed I was going to change my life in any way, except for the fact that I enjoy my routine. And the reason I enjoy my routine is because that's my time to myself. That is my personal private time where I am undisturbed by anybody else. And that is what I am addicted to because that sets the tone for my day. I am then choosing uninterrupted. Right? If anything actually stresses me out during the day, it's having somebody interrupt my morning routine and it be off kilter and me not be able to, get things done and function with. That's what throws me off. I'm routine in that way because this is the way I choose to set up my day. Now, am I flexible? Yes. Even though I enjoy my routine when I travel a lot. So that flexibility comes with me. So I don't always write down in a journal. Sometimes use the notes on my phone. I will shorten my meditation time. So I adapt my routine to my life, but I don't compromise on it or give it up because that's my time. That's how I choose to start my day. And that I love doing that because it sets the tone. I'm addicted to setting the tone for my day by doing my daily routine. I also have my night routine, right? I brush my teeth, wash my face, all that kind of stuff. Put on my moisturizer at night. These are routines. They help benefit my body. They help benefit my overall health. So let's go ask the question again. What do you think menopause would look like if you took better care of yourself? Ask yourself this: what are you addicted to? What are your addictions? What do you have to have in your life? And what can you wean away from your life that may benefit you? Sometimes it's people. Sometimes it's time to let certain people go out of your life who no longer serve what you stand for anymore, your purpose or your current values, because these change, right? People are in and out of our lives a lot. If you think about it, sure, some of us might still be friends with the kids we went to in grade school, even or high school or university. But as an adult, we have different friends while our kids are growing up. There might be certain, right? But the kids' friends, sometimes the parents become friends, and then people move. So life is constantly evolving and changing, and we must constantly evolve and change with it. And menopause is no different. So we need to be adaptable. We need to be metamorphosizing, right, along with it, because it's not always going to be the same. I know from my own experience, I wasn't hit all at once with all 33 symptoms that I had. They came at various times, and some came and went, and some came and stayed longer than others. So these are the things. So that's the question I'd like to ask everybody to ponder about that, about taking better care of yourself and what that means for you. And it doesn't necessarily mean eliminating something from your life, although in some cases that might be what you need. But what if you were just adjusting, making minor adjustments? Because the one thing when we talk about making changes in our lives, people get really scared. We get really scared about making any changes. We're resistant to change. Guilty. Guilty of being resistant to change. No, I'm good. It's comfy. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But is it? Is it not broke or is it broke? Are you just not wanting to admit that it's broke? That's a difference. Can we admit when something's broke? Can we admit that maybe something does need fixing? You know, and maybe it's as simple as making a minor adjustment to the way you're eating. Maybe you're not realizing that you're eating a lot of processed foods. Because if you come home from work and you got to think about, if you have a traditional household or anything like that, then it might be your responsibility for dinner. And you're like, what am I going to make for dinner? Well, you know, packaged pasta or something like that, something that's quick and easy. But is that the best for your menopausal body? No, absolutely not. Sometimes it takes thinking ahead, taking something out of the freezer. One of the things I used to love to do when I did work out of the house, I had used to freeze, right? We'd buy the meat in bulk and freeze it. Use your slow cooker. I used to love throwing a roast in the morning before I went to work just on low. And by the time I came home at the end of the day, it was done and moist. Um, yeah, sure, you could throw a few potatoes and some carrots in there with it, and then add some green beans or something like that, like another vegetable. So there are easy ways to be able to introduce a healthier lifestyle, with just small tweaks, right? Are you using processed gravy instead of making your own? Are you eating a lot of fruit? Sometimes people think that fruit is good for them because it's fiber and so forth. Fruit, I know it's natural sugar, but it still is a lot of sugar. And our bodies are changing and going through so much flux that we can't always handle that the same way. So instead of starting your day with fruit, start your day with protein instead. Make up on the weekend. What do you do on the weekends? Maybe make up a batch of some like little egg quiches or something like that. And that way you have them throw in the microwave in the morning before you, or whatever, bring them to work with you and eat at work. And the reason I say this is because it's actually good for your digestion to eat slowly. That's actually better for your digestion because you're eating slowly. So eating slowly is good for your digestion. So I believe that eating at your desk is actually good for your digestion because you're eating more slowly. You're not sitting there shoveling it down, within a certain time frame. So I often used to do the same thing with lunch. I would have lunch at my desk or, something like that. And yeah, you're eating more slowly. So a lot of things to think about in today's episode about, ask yourself, are you an addict? So are you a medicine addict? These are all things to consider because even medicines, let's remember this, that any medication has a side effect. Most times, those side effects are not positive. And they may cause some other situation or instance where it will cause you to have to take something else, some other medication in order to be able to reverse the side effects of that medication. So let's keep that in mind. Okay. Are you a medication addict? Lots to think about. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this episode has got you thinking a little bit about your health, what you put in it, and what menopause might look like if you took better care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining me. Treat yourself with self-love. Thank you for listening, and bye for now.